Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I want to talk to you this morning about a news clip from Fox News that I kind of found it kind of disturbing. We'll see what your opinion is, but if our government is at the level that is being reported in this news clip, a good part of me wants to say it's already lost. When we are doing, we as in the government, when the government is doing the things that it's doing that's being reported, I don't know anymore. I mean, I think there's a part of me that wants to have some kind of hope that things are gonna get better, that there's some way of salvaging this destruction, but I don't know at this point. The report that I'll show here in just a second, it's going to be edited down because of, censorship here on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But basically, it's the National Director of the Air Marshal Council. The Air Marshal Council is a separate organization that represents the United States Air Marshals. They go lobby for them in Congress and things like this. So this is the National Director. This is not just some yahoo that's just making things up and, just whatever. It's probably fairly legitimate. And basically in the report, this national director is stating that since January 6th, the infamous January 6th, that the United States Air Marshal Service has basically only been doing one job for the most part. And that one job is they're going around and tracking every American that flew into Washington, D.C. in or around January 6th. Whether or not you were even at the big event, that big insurrection event, doesn't matter. She even goes to say that there was one case where a guy flew into Washington, D.C. that exact weekend, or that week, only to go to a funeral, that it was proven he wasn't even at all remotely, not even close, involved in any of the functions and activities going on at the Capitol that week. He was just there to go to a funeral. And yet they have been, the U.S. Air Marshal Service has been going around and tracking this guy, following him, that they're not really doing anything to deal with terrorism or to any other type of crime anymore. That they have gone through the system, and anyone that has flown into Washington, D.C. during that time period of January 6th, that they're just tracking their movements. Most of these people are on no-fly lists, or at least they're on an alert so that if they try to fly, they have to go through extra screening. This is very, very disturbing. Disturbing on levels that... And maybe I'm overreacting to it. I mean, you're more than welcome to call me out in the comments as overreacting. But and I know there's been a lot of stuff that's happened because of this January 6th, and probably don't talk about it enough. People in jail far, far, far too long for sometimes absolutely no crime has been committed, and other times the crimes that were actually committed were very small. They're being charged with ridiculous charges. There's the guy and a few others, I can't remember their names right now. I believe it was the Proud Boys or something like that. He was the national director and wasn't even there, and is sitting in prison for something like 18 years. And he wasn't even there. We've seen insurrections of the Capitol and other government buildings happen from the left since then. We've seen several. Even to the point that they had to evacuate government buildings and shut things down because the violence and the rioting got so bad. And yet we don't see anything like that. The partisan politics has taken on an absolute, completely new level. If you watch my channel for very long, you'll find out that I'm not a big Trump supporter, Trump boy. I mean, what he did good, I will acknowledge it, but I also call him out on the things that he didn't do right. And I don't believe he's the great savior. But you can't deny the fact that he was indicted. His home was raided over classified documents that he took when he was president and had the lawful authority to declassify them. And yet Joe Biden, well, nothing happened to him. In fact, just last week, they announced that they were not going to pursue any type of criminal charges or investigation on Joe Biden or anyone else in relation to his classified document scandal, where he took classified documents, held them in unsecured locations in his home. And that was when he was a senator and vice president and had no authority whatsoever to declassify or possess those said classified documents. It's definitely a two different systems, folks. I'm going to go ahead and play an edited version of this. If you want to watch the full clip of it, you can go to Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. My account, I've posted the full video there, but YouTube is much more heavy-handed on the censorship. So let's go ahead and get it out of the way and watch this, and then we'll talk about it some more.
What do you mean by that? You're following January 2021 people. What does that mean?
That means our primary mission is a little group called Quiet Skies. It's a mission called Quiet Skies that we're following people that flew into the National Capital Region in January 2021. You did not have to go to the Capitol or the rally, and you've been put on a specific list that TSA now has assigned air marshals to follow these people who have not had any type of criminal investigation. They haven't committed a crime, but yet 3 years later, we're following the same individuals day in and day out.
So you're saying that air marshals are now following people that were at the Capitol on January 6th, and they're not tracking terrorists at all?
Well, they didn't even have to be at the Capitol, Carly. They could have just flown into the National Capital Region. So if anybody was there for a job interview, to visit family, we even had a gentleman that was there for a funeral. They put on this domestic terrorist list just because of their geographic location to Washington, D.C. So these people did not even commit a crime. They weren't even at the Capitol.
What? Do those people know that they're on this list?
Some of them do, because when they go to the airport, they get the quad S's on their boarding pass, and then they have to go through enhanced security. Then they're followed by teams of air marshals on any leg of flight that they have. So, yes, a lot of them do know that they're being followed.
In this video, the Fox News lady, and I don't watch Fox News at all, I have no idea who this is or what program on Fox this is. But you can see the shock in her face, in her expressions, and the way she asks questions. The shock that after 3 years, our government, our government, federal law enforcement, are doing nothing other than following around and tracking the movements of anyone that not just was at the January 6th event, but anyone that flew into this Washington, D.C. Is that not insane? At what point do we say the system's gone? It's too gone. I think for most Americans, even most of folks like you and I, we don't want to give up yet, right? You don't want to say that it's completely hopeless and it's done because then, well, that changes a lot of things. That means that elections really don't mean anything, that there is no saving anything, that the level of respect that you still have for elected officials and for authorized government officials, police and other forms of law enforcement, almost has to be gone. Military, everything. When we say it's done, it's over. But at what point do we say that? When we have this kind of stuff going on. And I mean, there's more things going on. This is certainly not the only, but this one kind of caught me off guard. I was a little shocked to hear this and surprised that it's still happening, and that it's this mission that they are doing now that has nothing to do with fighting crime, tracking terrorism, protecting planes in the air, the skies, or anything. Their mission now is solely about tracking anyone that might possibly be related to a January 6th thing, which really was a big nothing burger. You know, we've had people like Kamala Harris and AOC and all these other far lefties try to compare it to 9/11 or Pearl Harbor, which is an absolute slap in the face, disrespectful slap in the face, considering in those events thousands of people, thousands of Americans died, and billions of dollars of infrastructure was destroyed. Whereas on the January 6th, the only person that died because of it was, well, an innocent, unarmed woman that the police officer shot, and no one did anything about it. The level of property destruction was really minimal. How can it be compared? Well, because it's a left versus right. We are watching the globalist, the big brother, the far left Marxist communist not take over our government, but establish a strong foothold. They are making it clearly known. In the last couple of weeks, I've reported that FBI agents are coming out and whistleblowing on the FBI, stating that they're trying to push, the FBI is trying to push anyone in the FBI that's a conservative out. That they're making it difficult for them to continue their service with the FBI. We've seen this done with the military. Just yesterday, an Air Force base in North Dakota issued an order to all the service members on the Air Force base that if they attended a local conservative patriotic rally, which was being held in that town, that it could jeopardize their service in the military. What? So if you, as a military service member on your off-duty time, go to a local patriotic rally, not any kind of extremist or anything. These were well-known public speakers at this big rally, that you could get potentially demoted or kicked out of the military. And what country do we live in now? Because I thought we still lived in a free country that was very patriotic. Except those things mean something different apparently now. I don't have really any advice on this, but I wanted you to be aware of what's going on, even more so. Yes, there's all kinds of awful things going on in the world. But we're losing our country for good, I believe. I don't see personally how there's any way of going back. I don't think that just electing a different president is going to fix this. I mean, the last time Trump was in office, he had a hard time of getting anything really done because the system was already set in place. The people that run the system, not the White House, the system, they have so much power. We're watching the destruction and the dying off of what many of us thought was a pretty decent, free country where the government was of the people, by the people, and for the people. We're seeing that that's not true anymore. And we are watching a communist revolution happen right before our eyes. It just doesn't look like any that we've seen in the past. America's, it's done for. It's dying, especially when I say America, the government. And I don't know how to put it any other way. Maybe some of you don't agree with me, and that's fine. Maybe you're just more optimistic than I am. But when we're doing this kind of stuff openly and no one's doing anything about it, when we're putting people in solitary confinement in jail for months and months on end because they were at a political rally and there's no evidence that they actually committed a crime at that political rally, yeah, we've got a system set up that dictators of the past would envy. This is why you need to get ready, folks. Regardless of all the other stuff that's happening around the world, whether it happens or not, we're losing our country. And you better be putting yourself in a good position, setting yourself up to defend and to protect and to ride it out, because it's not going to get any better from here on. Folks, get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. and I'll catch you in the next video.
Folks, we are living in uncertain times where chaos seems to be around every corner. With wars and rumors of wars, economic collapse, pandemics, and more, we should strive daily to become more prepared mentally, physically, and of course spiritually. Please check out My Patriot Supply for all your preparedness needs. My Patriot Supply offers Ready Hour food, Alexa Pure water filters, and many other emergency and survival products. My Patriot Supply is an American-owned company, run by Americans producing American-made food. Emergency food from My Patriot Supply has a 25-plus year shelf life. It's simple to fix and delicious to eat. With My Patriot Supply, you can sleep at ease at night knowing that you and your family have the emergency food to last through the coming times. To find out more, click on the link in the description below or go to preparewithtravis.com.